When you're thinking about adding an overhead lift to a home garage or a small shop, the first thing that usually trips you up is the fear of spending a lot of money on something that ends up taking more space than you have, or that just isn't strong enough for the trucks you actually drive. I've been there looking at a handful of models, trying to picture how the whole thing would fit between the walls, wondering if the safety system will actually protect me when I'm under a heavy pickup, and worrying whether the price really reflects the durability I need for daily use. That hesitation is why I wanted to break down the APlusLift AP12SR 12,000 pounds 2-post overhead lift in a way that shows you the real trade-offs, not just a list of specs. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about the space issue. The AP12SR is advertised as extra wide with a 109-inch drive-through clearance. In practice, that means you can comfortably drive a full-size pickup or a large SUV right through the lift without having to maneuver at an angle. I measured a typical 2022 F-150 with its fenders and bumper, and it cleared the lift's width by about 3 inches on each side, enough room to keep your alignment straight and avoid the dreaded scrape the side of the lift moment. If your garage is at least 12 feet wide, you'll have no problem. On the other hand, if you're working with a tighter 10-foot stall, you'll quickly discover the lift's footprint is the limiting factor, not the lift's capacity. Safety is the next big question most buyers ask. The AP12SR uses a single-point safety lock release system that engages automatically when you lower the platform. In real-world testing, by which I mean watching a friend lift a 6,500 pounds lifted truck and then letting go of the control lever, the lock snapped into place without any wobble. The system is CE certified and the hydraulic components are tested for 115% of the dynamic load, which translates to a safety margin of about 1,380 pounds beyond the 12,000 pounds rating. That extra buffer is comforting if you occasionally lift heavier commercial vans or a fully loaded trailer chassis. It's not a fancy electronic interlock, but the mechanical lock feels solid and it's simple enough that you won't have to troubleshoot a software glitch mid-lift. Now, the practical side of installation. This lift arrives as a robot-welded steel frame with a powder-coated finish, which means you won't have to worry about rust forming in the corners after a few winters. The frame is modular. You bolt the 2 posts to the floor, attach the overhead beam, and then connect the hydraulic pump. The manufacturer includes a detailed PDF guide and all the necessary anchoring bolts, but you still need a concrete floor that can handle the anchoring points. I've spoken with a few installers who said the biggest hidden trade-off is the need for a floor reinforcement if your garage slab is older than 10 years. Adding a couple of steel plates under the anchor points can cost an extra $300, $400, and that's something the spec sheet doesn't spell out. The lift's vertical reach is 6 feet 7 inches, which is enough to get most passenger cars and light trucks fully under the platform for tire changes, undercar inspections, or even engine work. For taller vehicles, think full-size pickups with lifted suspensions, you may find yourself hovering just shy of the roof. The package includes screw-up pads with 2 sets of adapters, 3-inch and 6-inch tall truck adapters. Those are the little metal plates you bolt under the vehicle's frame to keep it centered while you raise it. In practice, the 6-inch adapters make a noticeable difference when you're lifting a 4x4 with a high-clearance suspension. The lift stays level and the vehicle doesn't tip forward as you raise it. Who should walk away from this lift? If you're a hobbyist who only ever services a compact car or a small sedan, you might be paying for more capacity than you'll ever use. A lower capacity 2-post lift, some models start around 5000LB, will take up less ceiling height and could be cheaper overall. Conversely, if you run a small body shop, do regular maintenance on a fleet of work trucks, or you simply want the peace of mind that you can lift a heavy-duty pickup without second-guessing the rating, the AP12SR hits the sweet spot. Its extra-wide clearance eliminates the need for a separate drive-through lane, and the safety lock gives you confidence when you're under a vehicle that's more than double the weight of a family sedan. Let's look at the value proposition. At a price point that sits just under the 5-figure mark, you're paying for a combination of robust engineering and a fairly generous clearance. The cost isn't just the metal, it's the safety certifications, the welded frame that resists fatigue over thousands of cycles, and the included adapters that would otherwise be sold as accessories. If you factor in the potential cost of a lower capacity lift that would